Margarita Island, a brutally honest review made by a British man. This is a video reaction. Some British gentleman just visited Margarita Island. He had some interesting takes regarding the peril of Venezuela, and today we are going to discuss.
Welcome to Venezuela Insider, the only place in Venezuela for expats, digital nomads, entrepreneurs, investors, travelers, and related internationals. For more information, venezuelainsider.com.
Recently, a British gentleman visited Margarita Island, of course, one of the most beautiful places in Venezuela, one of my most favorite places in the world, and he made a video about it. I'm going to leave the link in the description below. It's a very interesting take, as he calls it, a brutally honest review, and today we are reacting to him. Of course, those are the particular opinions of this particular gentleman, but actually are quite good. It has nothing to waste, so let's start. First, he starts covering what he calls the location and accessibility of course, visiting Margarita Island. He explains, actually, this is something I don't remember, he explained that Margarita Island usually had a bunch of direct flights from Europe and other places in the world. However, those flights have been diminishing a lot. Most of the international travel comes through the Maiquetía airport in Caracas. That's the route that he took. He went to Margarita Island, he went to Caracas, arrived to the country via Caracas, took a flight to Margarita Island. Very good. He mentions also the public transportation in the island is not very good, and actually I agree. Driving, now I have to say that driving in Margarita Island is actually quite fun because it's a big island. So if you have like an SUV or something like that, driving throughout the city, throughout the island is big. Very fun. You have sand, you have desertic areas, you have a bunch of roads, you have a bunch of course roads next to the beach, next to the sea. So it's fun to drive in Margarita Island, but the public transportation is lackluster. And he gave a score of 2 out of 5. Cost of living, he mentions afterwards, he gave a price range between $25 to $140 per night, depending, of course, of the quality of your accommodation. $25 is like a hostel, something like that, a shared room, something of that nature, and $140 is kind of a nice suite on a hotel, or maybe a beautiful luxury apartment, something of that nature. Yes, and actually I agree. He mentions that he's affordable, the Margarita Island is affordable in that regard, and actually the good thing about Margarita Island, there's a lot of demand, but also a lot of supply. So, nice hotels, apartments, small posadas next to the beach, so you have a bunch of options over there that keeps, in check the prices. Also, he mentions eating out. He mentions that he loved the food that you find on Margarita Island. Also, he mentions that it has great value. The restaurants over there are a bunch of options over there. And transportation, he mentions that that's something that, this is probably the only thing that I don't agree, that he mentions that the gasoline price is $3.2 per liter of gasoline. Maybe there was a particular time when he arrived and there was some scarcity regarding gasoline. Also, if you want something I heard about, this is about Margarita Island, not the rest of the country, that if you want gasoline at nighttime, very late at the night, you have to do some, run a bunch of errands, call some people, and maybe he got a very high premium price. The price of gasoline in Venezuela officially is 50 cents of half a dollar per liter. Well, besides that, he gave the cost of living in Margarita Island a 4 out of 5. And actually, Margarita Island has probably the best ROI regarding cost of living. It's not the cheapest place in Venezuela. However, it has a great ROI. Things in Margarita Island are, since, taxes are lower, the tax structure in Margarita Island is different from the rest of the mainland Venezuela. So Usually Margarita Island should be, depending on your cost of living, should be around 20-30% cheaper, probably even 40% cheaper compared to the big cities on the mainland Venezuela. Also mentions a part called environment overall of the touristic destination. And I'm quoting him, says, when you envision a tropical paradise, Margarita is very close to that. So, and actually I agree, it has breathtaking scenarios and landscapes. Also, the people is very clean. He mentions that actually Margarita is very clean. Of the touristic side, yes, it's very clean. I would say it's clean, but on the touristic areas, it's very, very clean. And he gave a 5 out of 5. And yeah, I would say it's still room to grow, but yeah, 5 out of 5. So he enjoyed himself in Margarita Island. Afterwards, he talks about the weather in Margarita Island. He starts mentioning that, please don't forget your sunscreen, something that okay. Yeah, the sunscreen. And he also mentions that the climate is basically the same every week. Actually, well, Margarita Island has, most of the country has a dry season and a rainy season. And I believe he went on the dry season. On the rainy season, you have a bunch of rainfall, of course. But afterwards, it's very hot. Margarita is very hot. It's summer all year round. And he gave actually a 5 out of 5. Afterwards, he mentions culinary experience in the island. And he says first that the Venezuelan food, he enjoyed Venezuelan food. Also, Margarita, I believe he didn't mention this, but you have a lot of seafood, fish and shellfish, stuff like that, because it's an island. But you found food from all over the world. And it is not just a cheap knockoff of the food all over the world. And he mentions also that there are a bunch of Italians. And actually, my favorite Italian restaurant is in Margarita Island. And I've been in Italy, by the way, and in New York City, in Little Italy, and places like that. And yes, actually, the Italian food in Margarita Island is very, very, very good. And he gave a 5 out of 5. Afterwards, he mentions about hospitality and customer service. He said the people is very warm and they go all from their own way in order to help you, according to him. A lot of hospitality. The hospitality is excellent. I always mention that probably the nicest people in the east side of Venezuela are in Margarita Island. So great people, by the way. The customer service is top tier, according to him. And actually, I will say, I'm going to add this, is that unlike the rest of Venezuela, I will say the customer service in Venezuela is not great. I mean, it's not bad, but it's not great. It should be better on the mainland. However, Margarita Island probably is the only place in Venezuela where the customer service people are trained to be customer service people. It's not like, for instance, in Caracas, something like that. Regarding customer service, you're going to find young people that are in college, or people that just recently graduated from high school and that's just their first job. No. In Margarita Island, you have professional people trained in leisure and hospitality in order to cater towards the customer service, the clients, and so on. And is the place where it's most likely that you are going to find English-speaking personnel regarding customer service. So he gave a 5 out of 5. I will give it a 4, but yes, I mean, it's kind of accurate. Then he mentions safety and security in the island. He mentions there is a lot of military and police presence throughout the island. It's correct. However, he never felt threatened. I mean, actually, they were pretty nice. The people, yeah, because the police in Margarita Island, in the security services were different than the rest of the country. But yes, it's mostly keeping tourist people safe. So very good. So they know what they're looking for. He never felt unsafe for the military and police presence. He mentions that it's very safe. And the only time that he didn't feel safe is regarding some dogs on the place where he was staying, some street dogs, and dogs start barking to him, something like that, and he got scared, and that's the only reason that he didn't give a perfect score regarding safety. He gave a 4 out of 5. I would say that know what you're doing, stay in a nice area, and you're going to be pretty much fine in Margarita. And regarding the overall experience, he mentions that there is a lot of work to be done in order to make it the perfect travel destination, but it comes close to being a perfect touristic destination. And also regarding the negatives, that he didn't found options regarding non-alcoholic beverages. Now, I have to say, if you come from abroad and if you are, you like to consume alcohol, and start your case very good, that you can find in Margarita Island is the best place in order to buy alcohol overall in the entire country. Actually, many people travel to Margarita Island just to purchase alcohol. It's cheaper, first, because it's less taxes, and also you can find alcohol from all over the world, basically. The street vendors selling rubbish, yeah, that's true, actually. Also, some power cuts that he experienced over there, and yes, that happens, but if you stay on a nice area, in a nice hotel, something like that, you should be less exposed to the power cuts and bugs. Well, a few mosquitoes every now and then. So he gave a particular score, his personal score, 34 out of 40, and it's an excellent must-see destination. And actually, I agree. I agree with mostly everything except for the dogs and non-alcoholic beverages. I mean, of course, everyone has their nuances, but actually, great video. I'm going to leave it on the description below so you can check it yourself. Love the review, and honestly, Margarita is a very awesome place, a must-see destination, and right now, hidden gem compared to the biggest, hotspots in Latin America.
Thank you for watching Venezuela Insider. Please like, share, and subscribe. Follow us on social media. If you want to work with us, VenezuelaInsider.com. Thanks again, and have a nice day.